following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everyone, I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shits of Bullshit?
50 Shits of Bullshit. That's
yeah.
Today.
Well, it's 50 Shades of Bullshit, and I really need to change the intro because we say we uncover, the facts about online dating. Well, really, we are here to talk about modern dating, finding love, and finding yourself. And we do a lot of self-improvement on this show, a lot about, helping you find yourself and knowing what you want so that you can find love if that's what you're searching for. So I think we need to do a new intro.
We should do a new intro, but also when you first started, maybe that's more of what it was supposed to be, but given the time and the guests and everything else, it's changed a lot. You're morphing. Everything about you is just changing.
I know. So, right now we're waiting for our guest to arrive. We're not really sure if he's coming. I love it when I book somebody and I'm working through their assistant or their personal secretary or whatever, and then I have no idea how to get a hold of somebody, and then they're not there for mic check. So
that sucks, but we can figure it out.
We got this though. We got this. Jada, tell us about your week, girl.
Oh, let's see. Week was busy. I had client meetings. I actually went and met with one of my clients last night, and a couple cocktails ended up
ensued.
More than a couple cocktails. But we had a great time. So client meetings, just busy. As always.
In this light. Well, for those who are just starting to tune in to us and listening to us, hopefully you listen on a regular basis and go back and to listen to other shows. But Jada is a dating coach and a matchmaker. Yeah. So she is the all-around girl. She's the it girl.
All around it girl. And there's never a dull moment in my world. I will say that. Right? Yes.
Well, yep. Well, for those of you who are watching us instead of just listening, if you're thinking, wait, someone's watching you guys? Yeah, every Thursday when we go live, we are live on Facebook, and you can also go to YouTube and type in 50 Shades of Bullshit. You have to type out the word 50, of course, and you can watch the shows. And for those of you who are watching, if you notice there's a little bit of a difference in the background for me, I am in Northern Virginia right now. In the sticks. I have been filming my documentary this week. I started out in Louisville, Kentucky. I know a lot of people have been correcting me all week. Louisville.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Kentucky too. I don't know why I didn't know that.
And I went to Lexington, and we filmed at Keeneland racetrack with Mike Manganiello. He is the Kentucky Derby jockey winner of the 1970 Kentucky Derby. Awesome. And we interviewed with him because my documentary, for those who don't know, is called Darling of the Derby, and it's about Diane Crump, and she is the first jockey to ever race in a pari-mutuel race. She's the first woman to ever legalized ride as a jerky. Good fucking God. I cannot. I just woke up from a nap. I am utterly exhausted. She was the first woman to ride in the Kentucky Derby, and she is a powerhouse. She is a firecracker. She's 75 years old. We have had the absolute best week filming her. She is inspirational. She is a comeback story. She was crushed by a horse, told not only would she never walk again, or ride, but she came back to walk. She came back to ride. She came back to racing. And at 48 years old, her last competitive race, she raced against her step grandson.
Oh my gosh.
He was the winner of that race. So 48 years old. That woman kicked ass. And
that's awesome.
Crazy is that a lot of women there were a few girls racing in that race at that time. They didn't know who she was. And that is what we're trying to change, because she fought the fight and made it to where women were respected and admired and able to race in horse racing. So she's pretty cool, and she's literally changed my life. This has been an incredible week. So we've been all over Virginia this week. We went into DC the other night. Right here, and we were crazy tourists at 2 in the morning. We were crazy. We were at the front of the White House, and then we went over to that phallic looking thing. Was that Washington?
The
Memorial? Monument. I had to pee really bad.
Oh gosh, do I want to hear this story?
Bad. So did Ryan. Ryan is my co-producer, and he brought all his equipment, and we've done all the lighting, all the sound, all the filming ourselves. I'm directing and producing it, and we had to pee so bad. So there were the trees lining around the reflective pool, like along the side. We're like running into the trees. I'm like copping a squat at a national monument.
Oh God!
Oh my God! I hope nobody comes to arrest me now.
I know.
Oh, Washington Memorial just blew my mind.
It
was
beautiful.
Pretty special.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
At 2:00 in the morning. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's the only time we had. And it was so funny because we were walking around, we were trying to find how to get to the front of the White House.
Yeah.
And because it's really convoluted over there and it's dark. And we came around and there was this checkpoint. And there's these Secret Service and these police officers, and we go, "Excuse me, is this the way to the front of the the White House?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, did you guys just get in?" And we're like, "Yeah, we got in earlier today." And he goes, "You're touristing at 2 in the morning?" And then he stopped himself and goes, "Hey, honestly, this is probably the best time to go."
Well, because there's nobody there. There's no one.
No one's there. And it wasn't hot. It was perfect weather, and it wasn't humid. And, cameras nowadays, I have the iPhone 14, and it takes pictures in the dark and it lightens it up, and you can still tell it's dark, but it's beautiful. Some of my pictures on the reflecting pool was unbelievable.
I bet they're amazing.
Oh my God.
They're amazing. Maybe it's different because I live here, so I can.
Could be.
I did all of that when I first moved, and now when my office, I have a DC office that I don't go to enough, but I rent a space, and it's literally like 3 blocks from the White House, and I don't go down there often because the traffic and the tourists are so crazy.
Oh, it's
during
crazy.
The day. It's insane.
Yeah. And then we were walking around, and I said, "Ryan, you do know that they now have heat sensor cameras, and we're probably triggering every heat. We have woken up some people around this White House." And he's like laughing, and I go, "Ryan, we can't talk about the A to the P right now. We're too close to it." He goes, "A to the P?" He goes, "Asshole to the P?" And I go, no. And then I whisper, assassination of the president. I go, we can't talk about that stuff when we're that close.
You're that close.
Could you hear me in that whisper?
I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you.
We had such a great time. I have incredible
excited.
photos. So.
I'm excited to see them. Do you have any more stops for your documentary after here, or are you guys done?
I'm flying. Well, tonight I'm going into DC to see you, and we're going to a bunch of fun clubs. And there's a drag queen show tonight. We're gonna go see at JR's, and then I have to be at the airport at 5:00 in the morning. So we're actually not going to sleep. That's where I was this afternoon when we finished filming. I took a nap because we're going to pack and go in and meet up with you. And we met some really incredible people while we were in DC, and they're meeting us there too.
Oh, very cool.
And we figured we were going to be out late, and why get a hotel for the last couple of hours? Yeah. And we have this Airbnb until tomorrow, but it's an hour drive. Hour and 20-minute drive. So we're not going to come back, sleep for an hour or two, and then drive back. It's ridiculous.
Back. That makes no sense. Okay.
So, but I had to keep the Airbnb tonight because I had no idea what time we were going to finish filming. And this podcast goes live at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. So I was like,
Yeah. I was actually thinking, I was like, where's she going to do the podcast from? I didn't know where you were going to be.
My Airbnb. It's the cutest little thing. If you could see it. Funny thing, it has this sign in the kitchen that says, every day is a great day to be at the beach. We're really far from the beach. And
what town are you in?
We're in Front Royal.
Oh, yeah, you're far.
We're like maybe 10 or so miles from the West Virginia
West
border.
Virginia. Yeah, you're far out there.
Yeah, we went to the horse race track in Kentucky, and then here in Virginia we were at Diane Crump's house, and then we went to a horse ranch that we were at yesterday. And I cannot wait to show you the sizzle reel.
I can't wait.
I'm telling you, this documentary is going to change my life. It already changed my life.
Yeah,
it really has. I've never been happier. Being a director and producer is my true calling. I am. If there's something that someone say something good about yourself, I'm fucking good. Yeah, I'm really good at my job, and everything is just really perfect. It's been really great. So
I'm so proud of you.
You weren't here this last week. We missed you last week, by the way.
It's a whole other story, but yes.
If you noticed, I have a thing on my arm. I was taking out the trash the night before I left to go here to Kentucky in here. And I was carrying recycles in my left hand and trash in my right. And I dropped this, I didn't drop it, but this candle fell off a counter in my house. And the candle, I was originally going to keep it because there was just one little sliver of glass left on it. And I was going to keep it and melt it down and make a new candle. And I was like, you know what? I hate saving shit that I never wind up doing. So I had it in my hands and I walked out of my house and I walked through a spider web and it freaked me out. And I threw my hands up and I slit my wrist from here to here. And I barely missed my main vein on my arm. And the doctor was like, I have to ask, did you try to hurt yourself? And I was like, I go, dude, if I was trying to hurt myself, 1, I would have succeeded. 2, I wouldn't be in here. And 3, I would do it a whole lot easier way than hurt myself like that.
That way, yeah.
And I said, my life is too good right now. And he laughed. He was like, okay. But I did get 6 stitches. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm excited to talk. I know we had a topic tonight, which was toxic relationships.
Yeah, it was toxic to triumph. I cannot believe our guest did not show. It really it irritates me, but whatever. It's not the first time that it's ever happened. People just, I don't know. I don't understand why people aren't responsible and they're professionals. This guy is a therapist and a speaker and a trainer, and he talks about toxic relationships, narcissism, trauma, emotional abuse. He's an expert at emotion abuse. What the fuck? And you don't show up to my podcast? Anyway, he also has his own podcast, and I'm not going to say the name now because the douchebag is probably on that. But I will tell you that we've all had toxic relationships, and those of us who have worked through it and come out the other side triumphant, it's a beautiful thing. Today was our 3rd day of filming Diane. And we went for a hike. She has these 4 Dachshunds. Is that how you say it?
Dachshunds.
Yeah, the little wiener dogs.
Yeah.
She's got 4 of them. And one had to stay home because he's too old and just had back surgery. And the other 3 went with us, and we took her on a hike. And we went and found this cabin, and she was sitting in this rocking chair overlooking the Shenandoah River. And it was beautiful. And while she's there, this was the time that we were going to talk about her toxic relationship in her life. And this woman not only fought against, people telling her that she was too weak, that she couldn't handle stress, that women couldn't race, but then she winds up marrying a trainer who was also a former jockey who was 20 years her senior. She started racing when she was 19. She rode in the Kentucky Derby when she was 21.
Oh, wow.
And when she was 20, she married this trainer. And I can say, he was a toxic man, and he had quite the temper, and it wasn't easy for her. And she took her little child with knowing that she was going to not have a job and, not know what was going to happen to her. She loaded up 2 horses in the middle of a major storm, and 20 how many dogs? She was breeding dogs at the time, so I think she said she had 15, 20, 24 dogs, something like that. She loaded them all up in this horse trailer, and off she drove from I think they were in Florida at the time, and they came to Virginia to start over. And she was, she's very positive about it. She doesn't ever want to say anything negative. All she ever says about her ex is that, he's gone now, but all she ever says is that he had a temper and she didn't want her daughter to live through that. And I do know that when I left my toxic relationships, it was always because of my children too. I didn't want them to grow up in a home that was always fighting or was any kind of abuse. So, I raised them by myself. Now, I'm sure you're a woman. I'm sure you've had toxic relationships yourself.
Yeah. My marriage was awful. Similar to her, I do my best not to speak badly about my ex-husband, especially when my kids were young. They were so little when I decided to leave him. So even in raising them, I tried so hard, as much as he was still, even after I left him, still extremely toxic and very just bad. I just tried to never talk about it. I just tried to never talk about it. So I understand that. You do it for your kids. Half of what we do is for our kids.
A lot of what I do for my own healing is to talk about it, because it helps other women relate. It helps other women see that they're not alone, that they have other people out there who've been through it and who have come out the other end triumphant, and that, they can do it. They can be inspired to move on. And that's why I wanted Diane to talk about hers. And that's why we're here to talk about this, because, people need to know that they're not alone. And a lot of women suck it up and think that they're doing better for the kids if they stay. Or I think a lot of women stay because they're either afraid or
Mhm.
they don't have a job or they don't have a good enough job or they don't have family
Yeah.
to go to, or, there's a lot out there.
Yeah, yeah. What's interesting is just in my industry with coaching, newly single people, some of the things that come up is a lot of times people don't, and I'll speak to women specifically, but a lot of women don't necessarily understand what's considered toxic. They can
Mm.
say certain things to me that have happened to them, and I'm like, that's toxic behavior, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't comprehend with them, and maybe it's because they went through it for so long, but I find it very interesting.
I think that a lot of people think that if they're not smacking me around or punching
Yes.
holes in the wall, actually, I've actually heard people say, "Well, he would destroy furniture and hit other things, but he never hit me." Well, he doesn't
Yeah.
need to hit
He doesn't
you.
need to. Yeah.
And I do say excuse me, there are toxic women out there. There are
Of
women
course.
who abuse men. That's one of the things that our fucking guest was supposed to be on here to talk about, but since he's not, we're going to relate our own
We
things.
can
And
talk about it.
I will be saying he, but I do know that there are a lot of toxic women out there, and there are women who do abuse men. And my nephew, um, he's in a toxic, abusive
Mm,
relationship, and he's so kind-hearted, and he's got some issues, and he really works so hard to, just stay healthy in his mind. And that girlfriend of his puts him through the ringer. And
mm,
she does sometimes hit him, but most of the time it is
mhm.
screaming, it is
Yeah.
slamming doors, and it's not always the loud screaming. It can be the silent treatment. It can be someone just manipulating you or
Mhm,
gaslighting you.
mhm.
Mind games.
Narcissism is great. Mind games,
Mind
yes.
games.
Thank you, Rebel. Mind games. Oh boy, I grew up with mind games. My
Yeah.
step monster used to play fucking mind games with me. Woo! And it
Mm,
and it's hard to, he used to make the abuse about my choice. Like, I have this real strong problem with eating certain vegetables. They
uh-huh.
don't agree with me.
Okay.
They make me ill. They make me seriously gag. Even the smell of it will just literally make me ill. And he would take that and use it as a weapon and say, "You don't have to eat that if it make it seem as if it was my choice that he was abusing me." So that
Uh,
shit can fuck a person up,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Even verbally, even talking about weight or
ooh,
just
mhm.
there's so many different things you can say verbally that people may not take to be toxic, but it's really, really bad. It's really bad because in the healing that has to take place from that, that's always in someone's head, even moving on to a new relationship.
Yeah. I just looked up some things because, I don't want to just talk out my ass, though I
Yeah.
think I'm pretty good about talking out my ass. I may not be able to talk sometimes, but
That's
hey.
okay. That's okay.
I'm gonna list some of these things
Yeah.
that are toxic
Yeah.
traits, and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Lying.
Mm.
That was number 1, lying. Lying,
Mhm.
during job interviews is shockingly common, they say. Lying to your partner, thinking, well, what they don't know won't hurt
Won't hurt
them.
them, or it's not that big of a lie. You've
Uh,
heard some people say, "Well, it's just like it's a teeny lie."
yeah,
But a lie is a lie is a lie.
lie is a lie, and that can really fuck with somebody. Um, and let's see, the next one
Okay, I
is,
have to ask a question before you move on.
oh
When
yeah,
you say a lie, now you're talking about something that's meant to, just to deceive someone. Now, if someone asks you, "Does my butt look big in these jeans?" and you say no, and it really does. I mean, it's a lie, yes. Or I just want to be specific on how we're feeling about this.
Listen, I white lie all the fucking time. You know, I say shit to relate to people, to either make them feel good or to, I'll say things like, if I need to connect with somebody and I have to sell. I have to sell a lot. You
Yeah.
know, I have to sell with my business. I have to sell, with production, and I have to say things sometimes that that will help me. It's not hurting anybody. I think those kind of things are, I some people think a lie is a lie, and that's fine. I personally, when I do a little white lie, like someone's coming through the door and they've got this cute little dog. And I say, "Oh my God, I have a dog just like that." I don't, but it makes them feel so good. They're like, "Oh, you do too? Oh my God." I don't care. I mean, those are things that,
Yeah.
like sometimes I can see that someone is feeling really shitty about themselves. And I'll say, I'll just turn and look and I'll go, "Oh, your hair looks really good." And honestly, I don't like it, but it made them feel good. And
You made their day.
You made their day. And things like that. I don't think that that's hurting anybody. But when you're in a relationship or you're in a partnership, I don't think that lying is the best policy.
Yes.
Totally agree. Another one on that subject, just real quick, because I just can't get over it. When you're in an open relationship and you have rules, a contract that you abide by, why lie when you don't have to?
I think that some people are, what's the word I'm looking for? Chronic or perpetual, or there's a word I'm looking for. Habitual liars. Some people thrive on it, and some people don't even realize they're going to lie until it comes out of their mouth.
Out of their mouth, yeah. Yeah.
And I think that those kind of people just, I think they need to. I think it's just part of their DNA. They just freaking, need to.
Or in an open relationship, I've never been in one, but I can only imagine. Maybe they just don't want to hurt the other person's feelings because it's so tricky.
It's in the contract, and you don't have to lie about things. And dragging something on for a year and a half, that's more than just, that's just not abiding by the contract, straight up lying about it. And if it's a thrill seeking, I think I'm not going to get caught. Well, guess what? You get caught every time.
Yeah. I think that is a control thing, Rebel. I think some people have this thing, this need, this they have to control. And sometimes when you get in a situation like that and they know they don't have to lie and they do, some people are just built, they lie. I know people that all they do is lie, and it just is part of, it's like a drug. It's a thrill.
It's like intoxicating for them.
Like toxic parts of a relationship.
Right.
Right.
So insecurity. The next thing on the list says insecurity. It says showing up at anything other than your authentic self is a surefire way to put up a wall between yourself and everyone else. Faking your way through social interactions, self-censoring during conversations, craving fame and popularity over genuine connections. You know what? Everybody has their own insecurities. Everybody has to fake it till you make it. I'm not really sure I agree with that one. I don't really care. I mean, if someone doesn't want to show up as their authentic self, I can see through that.
Yeah.
And then it's my choice to walk away. Though I do say that in my circumstances, in the past, in my situations, men have shown up and lied to get what they want, whether it be sex, whether it be a date, whether it be someone to talk to them, someone to spend time with them. They come in, pretending to be something that they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. But people do that too, especially dating when you're meeting someone new. So many people, they want to put on, it's like they're selling themselves. They put on the best show of who they are. Maybe it's, and then it comes out later that they're not exactly that person, but
I always say they can't wear that mask for too long. You can only hold that mask up for a certain amount of time, and then
Yeah. Uh-oh. I think I lost you.
Christine, you're freezing. Move your mouse around.
I thought it was me. I was like, oh, is it my computer?
No.
Oh, it's
She might not be
Christine.
hardwired in the Airbnb.
Oh, that's true.
As she was saying, she's
she's
out
gone.
for a second. So it's you and
It's
I
just
are gonna
us.
continue
Yes,
this.
so we can finish.
So about the painting the peacock, I do notice that a lot of people when they first meet people, they almost act like who they want to be, not who
Yes.
actually they are. Hi, Christine.
Yeah. But like she said, people find out all the time. Like you can only hang on to that facade for so long before the real you comes out, whether it's you have a disagreement or an argument and the real you comes out, it comes out. It'll come out.
Most definitely. It's Christine, we can not see you.
I can't
might
even
want
hear
to check
her.
out and check back in if you could, please. So, other toxic things in relationships. What do you find?
One of the things that Christine just mentioned, I think control is huge. Whether someone is trying to control the outfits that you wear, the friends that you have, the times you need to check in with them, the times you come in and out of the house, that's huge.
Now we have y'all have had some shows about sugar babies and stuff like that. Now that kind of stuff is part and parcel of that type of relationship. Hi, Christine.
Hi guys. Sorry, I'm not hardwired, so it's very precarious. Go ahead. Keep going, Rebel.
No, we were talking about the control factor, and then I said about how some relationships are that type of relationship, but that's a wanted and a discussed and a talked about type of relationship. We're not talking about that. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're being controlled, please, if you don't feel safe, find yourself out of it.
Find yourself out. Yeah. And similar to what you said, I think in those types of situations, when we were talking about open relationships, it's discussed. And some people like that in their relationship, but it's discussed. So I think that's a different circumstance versus, you know, I don't like your hair that way. I don't want you to wear it like that ever again. Like, I think that's very different.
Right. Yeah. I always love, when someone comes on and says hello to us in the show. And I just want to acknowledge that someone did come on and say hi, and we want to thank you for being here.
Hi.
Hi. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. The next thing that's on the list is playing the victim. Now, if you've ever been in a situation where someone plays the victim, I just want to stab myself in the eye every time someone does that. And basically how to spot that is they abuse others, and when they're called out, they divert the attention by claiming that their behavior was justified, usually blaming the ones that they actually hurt. And I've been in those kind of relationships. They suck.
They're horrible.
Oh, they're so bad. And you think you're going crazy. And it's almost like that's kind of like along the path of gaslighting.
Yes.
They do the manipulation and they play the woe is me to gain sympathy from everybody who's listening. Now, I knew a girl who had a boyfriend that would very loudly do this in public and try to make her look like the asshole. In a work environment, a coworker who always shouts, "It's not my fault," when they're giving constructive feedback about their poor performance. That's also another, form of playing the victim. And playing the victim is shit. Stop playing the victim. Own up to who and what you do. If you fuck over somebody, you know what? Acknowledge it. Say I'm sorry and go fix yourself.
Sorry and move on. Don't. I could talk about that for days because I do not do well with that.
I can't even with that. Always the poor me. And then they're the ones that actually strike out and hurt other people. That's the ridiculous part.
Yeah.
So let's see. The next one is cheating.
Oh, wow.
There are a lot of personality traits, why people cheat. There's a really great article, website, The Science of People. It has a whole link that you can find 5 personality traits that, like low agreeability, low conscientiousness, things that create it's almost like lying too. Cheating is just another form of feeling like they're big man on campus. They think that they're something special. Cheating is shit. Yeah, it
Yeah.
can destroy people and families, and it's
And it comes
Yeah.
in multiple forms. I had someone ask a
Absolutely.
question the other day, is sexting cheating? Well, yes, it is. If
Yeah.
you're seeking
Yeah.
attention from others and you're not being honest in your relationship, that is very much cheating. Now, again, if you talked it over and have a contract and you know what's going on,
that's different.
you've been told, different story.
Yeah.
But when someone's just sexting with someone, it is cheating in most people's eyes because you're breaking that part of the relationship.
You're breaking that bond.
Mm-hmm.
I feel too, a lot of people don't understand that when you can have an emotional affair with somebody, and that is absolutely cheating. And a lot of people say, well, there was no physical contact, or we just emailed each other our problems and we just became, that's a form of
Or
cheating.
we're just friends. Are we just talking? Well, did y'all just talk with the other people that y'all are doing this behind their backs? Because
Right.
this is
Right.
something you should discuss with people.
Yeah.
Look, I have always said to my ex, you cheated. And he says, but we never had sex. But they had an emotional affair. Whether they had sex or not, it doesn't matter. I could give a shit. They had an emotional affair, and that destroyed my family. Now he's happy. They're together. Life. I'm happy. That's all great and dandy. It is. But for a very long time, it hurt people. It hurt me. It hurt my kids. I'm not here to blame him or to say anything bad about her. She's actually a great person. I really like her. But now, I didn't then. But emotional cheating is really fucking painful.
It's painful.
It is. There are 5 things to look out for cheating. 5 things. If you're out there and any of these are striking a chord, you might really want to look into it.
Reevaluate your situation.
The first one is they lie about where they go and who they're with. The second one, their mood goes up and down and they're more happy and sad than usual. Number 3, they get defensive when you ask who they're talking with.
Yep. Had that happen.
Increased phone usage an hour before bedtime. First thing in the morning. Yeah.
Or miraculously, they have to take that phone even to the restroom with them when they never did before.
Or the phone's always face down, or it's like you don't have
keep
codes.
It quiet with no notifications.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the last one, less frequent deep conversations, date nights, and sex.
Which is like they withdraw, they become more distant because they have someone else that they're sharing their time with.
Yeah. The next one, number 5, this one's confusing. We can talk about this one. Not speaking out. I'm going to read what it says. Toxic traits are not toxic. God bless America. You can tell I'm tired. Toxic traits are not always action-based. Not speaking out goes hand in hand with insecurity. Not speaking out can look like this. 1, during work meetings and staying quiet, even though you have ideas and solutions to contribute. Number 2, at parties, you hold back on sharing your takeouts of fear and being too much. And on group vacations, you always go along with whatever else anybody else wants to do, even if you don't want to. I don't know if that's a toxic trait. I just think it's just, I don't think that's a toxic trait.
I don't think that's a toxic trait.
I think
No.
there's someone just being, quiet. Some people are quiet. Some
Yeah.
people are different. No, it's not a
I
toxic
don't think
trait.
that's a toxic trait. No.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
I think the next one, taking things personally, can be borderline.
Borderline.
Everything you fucking say or do, they take it personally. I think personally, I have taken things way too personally
I think we
in
all
the
have.
past.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
we've all been a victim of that. Absolutely.
Yep.
That or they turn it back on you. Like, oh, what do you
That
mean?
manipulation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, taking things personally, thought that, I grew up with everything being my fault. I was in relationships where everything was my fault. I couldn't do anything right. And it just became overwhelming for me. And I was
Mhm.
constantly like, I took everything personally. And after I learned that I shouldn't do that, and I learned how to not do that with help, it just changed my life, and I don't take shit personally anymore. You want to talk shit about me? I don't care.
Go for it.
I don't, whatever. Doesn't bother me.
I love it when they do. I tell them, let me pop some popcorn and let me sit down and enjoy this first,
Right. Taking things personally can look like you let the opinions of others dictate how you feel about yourself. That's just sad, and hopefully you can get help with that. You have a habit of getting upset when given constructive criticism. That's kind of borderline narcissistic. Your boss takes a harmless comment about your mistake and you overthink the interaction. That's just destroying your own mind. Just don't even.
Yeah.
The next one is perfectionism. I think that maybe if you take it too far, it can be a little toxic. Personally, I'm all about being a perfectionist, and that's only because I hold a higher standard to myself in what I do.
Mhm.
So, if you want to be a perfectionist, go fucking for it. I just think that, be humble about it.
Yeah.
Or don't hurt others in your perfectionism, or don't even harm yourself in that. Maybe give yourself a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is kind of weird. I don't like it either. Seeking the validation of others. I think that some people need their love language is words of affirmation,
Yeah.
and you're not getting it. So,
Or some people could just be insecure all around, and it could be
Yeah.
as a result of how they grew up or just different things that they constantly need that affirming factor. So I agree. I don't know that that's necessarily a toxic
no.
trait. No.
I don't think the next one is either. People pleasing can, be a habit. Now, I have been guilty of people pleasing in the past. I don't think it's a toxic trait. I just think it's a place where we grew up your whole life having to people please to not be knocked the shit around.
Yeah.
I to not get beat to a bloody pulp. I people pleased.
Mhm.
And
It
or
was survival for you though. That's different.
survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to not be, tormented at school by bullies. I people pleased.
Mhm.
But that's just something that I grew up having to protect myself.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a toxic trait.
I
I
don't
just
think
think
so
it's
either.
something that someone needs to get help.
But what
You
if
know?
what if you're people pleasing everyone else outside the relationship and not people pleasing inside the relationship?
Yeah, that can be really
That's
sad. I don't know. What do you think that is?
if you're okay, say that again, Rebel. So if you're people pleasing outside of the relationship,
If
but you're
you're
not
trying
pleasing,
to making sure everybody outside of your relationship, like everybody in the world, you can people please, but you're not people pleasing inside your relationship.
Yeah, that's the wrong person to be with.
that's the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some
that's your sign to get the
communication
fuck
issues
out.
there. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that there are a lot of people in this world, men and women alike, they both are guilty of it, that they will do whatever they can to get the person. Once they got them, they don't give two shits about it. And they go, they're mine. I'm keeping them. And then they're kind and nice. And that to me is a narcissistic behavior. They please everybody else. They're good to everybody else. They're the pillar of the community outside the home. Then they come home and they're dicks. You can be a woman and be a dick, you can be a man to be a dick. Personally, I don't think that they're people pleasers. I just think that they are trying to look good outside in the world so people don't realize what an abusive narcissist you are at home.
Well, and a lot of times, once, to your point, people get the person, they stop putting in all the work that it took to get the person.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got you now, so I don't have to tell you where I'm going. I don't have to do these certain things.
Yeah. There's two more before we're done.
Okay.
There's another one, and I just completely skipped it because it's ridiculous. Inflexibility, whatever. I think that inflexibility can be someone who, they only want their way and nobody else's, and whatever. Just walk the fuck away from that person. The person's no good. Judging others. I was judged a lot in my past by certain people. You feel like when someone does something and they're constantly being judged for it, you realize your faults. How am I like the person I am judging? These are just things on this website. If you're being judged, remind yourself that it doesn't matter what others have to say about you, as long as you are content with your choices. I agree. With that.
I agree with that.
The last one, and I'm not sure. It says toxic oh my God. I have a podcast and I can't speak. Toxic positivity, for fuck's sake. Let me read it. Have you ever been around someone who fakes happiness? And they say things like, I'll be fine, don't worry, or just be happy. Positive toxicity can be to others and to yourself. Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Make any sense. Say that again.
It says positive toxicity can be to others and to yourself. Oh, they're saying that you can do it to other people and you can do it to yourself.
And do it to yourself as well.
Yeah, by constantly saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, you're not fucking fine.
You're not fine. Just
deal
say,
with
what's
your
the
issue.
problem? Yeah.
Got it. The best way to combat toxic positivity is to accept all of your emotions. And then there's a thing online. There are 10 ways to overcome toxic positivity. We're gonna. It's basically as someone who's fake.
Right. That's in a nutshell. Yeah.
And then the last one is jealousy. And I will tell you, jealousy will fuck up your life.
100%. It will. Your life, your relationships, your livelihood, your mental health. It's horrible.
If you can't go get help, if you are a jealous person, then you're screwed, because it will destroy your relationship.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to be confident in yourself, not to judge yourself too hard, and not to judge others, and to be in a place that if your partner wanted to be with other people, they would. They would not be with you. So jealousy is like the root of all evil. Stop. That jealousy is bullshit. If you have a jealous tendency, go get help. I'm telling you now.
Don't be in a relationship. Don't get in a relationship until that's fixed and healed. And
because it is the destroyer.
Absolutely.
I learned that the hard way. I used to be so goddamn jealous. And the thing too about it is that my ex-husband, unfortunately I think, this is my own opinion, I don't know if this is what he actually did, but in my mind, he was doing things to make me jealous. And then when I got jealous, it would purposely be used against me. So it ruined it. It just ruined it all. I wasn't meant to be with him. That's fine. I had an incredible child from him, and eternally grateful for that. He's not a bad guy. He just wasn't the right guy for me.
That's
But
okay. Yeah.
jealousy is a bad thing, and work on that, because I worked on it and I am a happy motherfucking person.
We should do an episode on jealousy and jealous behavior.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. I'm going to
Yeah.
find a jealousy expert and
Yeah.
see if they'll actually show up for our show. I'm going to ask this fucking douchebag how he feels when he books someone for his podcast
And they don't
that
show
person
up.
show up.
But I
Come
think
on.
we did okay. I think we did all right.
I think we're fine. We're
Yeah.
great. Thank you, Rebel, for
Thank you,
coming in and
Rebel.
chatting with us. That was great.
Yeah.
Jada, it's fucking
Yes,
great to
ma'am.
see you, and I get to see you in like a couple of
Later.
hours.
I know.
Yes, I love that. Actually, just really quick, don't forget to come back next week. We really love having you here. And
Yeah.
until then, let's keep it real.
Bye.
Bye. Hang on. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.